Namaste, friends. Let's talk about the sun and the moon in conjunction. Now, the Chandra Surya Yuti is, to the best of my knowledge and experience and a little bit of insight, I always feel that this is not a good combination. Okay, it is most of the time true that it's not a good combination. Only just sometimes or very rarely it is seen as a something which is good. Now, one may think that both are sattvic in its nature. Sattvic means like a benign temperament. Okay. However, one must understand the very basics of it, the nature of the planets, the karakattvas of it. Both are quite opposite to themselves. Okay. Surya, or the sun, is very pragmatic. Okay, it's very practical in its approach. On the contrary, the moon is very emotional. Logics and stuff would not be its most important asset. It is more tactful, diplomatic, more emotional, more sentimental, it's got more on the human touch. It's more, it's very passionate about things. It is more slower and much more resilient. Okay, the sun is aggressive. It is loud, and it's grand and great, and those kind of things. Quite the opposites. The people who have very much a moon quality are very mild-mannered people. For most of the time, they are very modest and humble. The sun people, they're very prideful personalities. May not be boastful, but they take pride in whatever they do. And they are kind of hard-hit as well. So we are at both polarities here, both ends of the polarity. Both have different temperament altogether. So if they are both together in a house, okay, and let's assume that the sun is not in its good position, okay, or it's not in its good house, or there is an affliction with the moon, or some little drishti which is going on this rasi, or where these both houses and both these grahas are residing, any little disturbance in the energy that these both are producing can cause some serious ramifications on that particular bhava, on the particular house. Okay, so it is a very subtle, very sensitive combination to have the sun and the moon together. Most of the time, it brings very unreliable in its approach. It doesn't give the astrologer a way to get a strong grasp to say that yes, if the sun and the moon is in this particular house, we can safely to say that this is what might happen, or these are the chances that it might happen. Of course, even after analyzing the so many factors that there are in assessing a particular bhava or a house, yet there can be very small, minute nuances which can make an entire difference. So these combinations of the sun and the moon are those type of very subtle and very volatile combinations. So in adverse effects, this can lead to a person to have some identity problem as well. They behave very differently within the public circle. Back home, they may be an entirely different person. Of course, due to social interaction, there must be some form of social diplomacy, if I may. Back home, you can be more on yourself. That's a common thing. However, the people who have badly state of the sun and the moon acts way different. Okay, they entirely different personality altogether. Maybe they are nice outside, and when they're back home they can be a cruel person, or vice versa. So so that's one thing that I've seen over the years. People or my clients who have this sun and moon. So whenever I see sun and moon in the chart together, it always creates that reluctance, and I'll be extra cautious in deciphering the chart. The sun and moon also shows one particular personality, which I was referring to my old books, and when I saw one of the clients, one of the notes that I've taken at the point, I mean, it was like 5 years ago. One of the notes that I've jotted down was, this person, this client of mine, have this tendency of taking advantage of another person, meaning that back in their house, they'll take advantage of maybe their wife or their husband or their spouse or their children or anybody. Back in the office also, they'll tend to take advantage. They are exploitative of the situation. If they see someone who's weak and timid and all that, they will take opportunity. They will exploit these people. That's another personality I've seen over the years for people who have the sun and the moon, because it can be very devastating if it's in a bad state. All right. So that's a little bit about the sun and moon combination in the chart. Again, the caveat here is that this may or may not be affected to you, because of the so many variety, so many different types of analysis that needs to be done. Okay, from the positions to the strength, to the different type of yogas, to the drishtis, to the rasis, there's just so many things, right? So one has to remember that this video gives you a general viewpoint of what it could be if there's a sun and moon conjunction in the first house, because we're talking about the house of personality here. Okay, so that's it. Please stay tuned to my channel. If you're new here, do subscribe. There's going to be more of these videos, and I hope it has been knowledgeable for you. So until the next time, thank you. Namaste.